You're listening to the Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast, and I'm Lou Tamlet. I'm guessing you're having a good day because either you've been on the mats, considering getting on the mats, or maybe taking your family to train. I'm so happy you're here listening or watching this episode. Please don't tap out before the end. When you want to maintain a 10 kilo weight loss and reduce your hair length by 40 centimeters, start training jiu-jitsu. Well, that's my story. I got on the scales the other morning and discovered that I was still maintaining my kind of 10 kilo weight loss for nearly the last year, and it's not really fluctuated much. I've been training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu now for a year, and I'm still really enjoying the journey. And when I started, I didn't expect anything. I didn't expect any changes. You know, going into a sport that's completely new sector of life, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, martial arts, wrestling, whatever you kind of like to describe this particular genre of sport and hobby, I didn't expect any changes whatsoever. So coming into the whole thing, no expectations, and just happy to be there. But you know, little did I kind of realize that I'd have a 10 kilo weight loss. And I used to have very long hair when I first started, and it's got shorter and shorter and shorter, mainly because I enjoy having the convenience of it not getting in the way when I'm rolling and training jiu-jitsu. I know some of you might not have 40 centimeters of hair to lose, but if you do, you can still maintain having long hair. I know some people leave it up or, you know, tie it up, braid it, or leave it down. So it's really up to you. But this journey has been a fantastic one. I also want to talk about, you know, having started this Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast, podcasting is not new to me. I do have another show. It's called Tech Talks with Lou. It's on all of the podcast platforms, as is Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast. So I've been there and done that before. I've just applied my business knowledge and kind of technical ability to my hobby. And actually, this is one of the things that, you know, it's late on a Saturday night. I'm recording a couple of shows. I will set up my studio at home and just record because I love doing it. Likewise, tomorrow morning, I'll be out, ready, training jiu-jitsu very early on a Sunday morning. Probably not as early as some of you get up. I do know that. But, you know, when you love something, you will make any effort to take part in that activity and do it to the best of your ability. That's exactly what I'm doing here with podcasting and jiu-jitsu. So when I started training, obviously I didn't know anything, didn't know anybody. And now I have a vast community of people that train jiu-jitsu in the UK, in my local area, and all around the world. And it's a really great opportunity to meet new people and just see the techniques, follow their journey, you know, just see how people learn different techniques and moves and positions and how they perfect their own techniques or perfect their own journey in their own way. And it's really quite beautiful to see. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today was the activities and opportunities that being part of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school gives you. So being part of the community, there are different events and different activities. As a parent, my two young children train jiu-jitsu, and I've never been one of those parents that sit on the sidelines and just watch. Actually, I want to get involved and do things for me in my way. But we've recently been to a massive trampoline park, which was amazing. And I didn't just buy a spectator ticket for me. I bought a ticket and I had the most fun I've ever had. Now, if I hadn't started training jiu-jitsu, I probably wouldn't be brave enough to go, stuff it, I'm going to have a go as well. And do you know what? That feels really freeing and empowering. And part of my whole podcasting journey with Jiu-Jitsu Lou is to really encourage more women to think about getting on the mats and start training jiu-jitsu, having these opportunities. I'm not far off, maybe a few years off turning 50, and I just want to have a go at life. I don't want to feel like I'm my age. I want to embody what it feels like to be a young person. My children are still young, and I want to be doing all the things that they enjoy. I want to be that fun mum. And maybe you want to be that fun parent as well. And taking part in activities that build your strength and resilience is just another step closer to being that person that you might want to be, or dream that you'd like to be in the future, if not now. It really is such a great opportunity. Talking about opportunities and social events, I took part in, it feels like my life has just been filled with social activities because of jiu-jitsu. A big community. All of us ladies in the school went out axe throwing last Sunday. Now, who would imagine that a year ago that I would be part of a massive community of females and we'd be axe throwing on a Sunday morning? Again, I've never done axe throwing. That's not something that's in my kind of repertoire of activities that I've ever done before. But we all just had a go, and it was really great fun just seeing all of us together. And, outside of the gym or the jiu-jitsu school, in our own kind of environment, it was fantastic. And I really would recommend, if you're not part of a friendship network, and I know life throws all sorts of things at us, and it's not like it was, communities and getting people together. And if you don't have that, try and find a community that you can join. If it's not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'd love it to be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, go and find another community where you can join together and do all of these amazing activities. You'll have the opportunity and inspiration to do these things. It really is something quite empowering. And I think maybe I will only look back on this event and reflect on it maybe in a few days or a few weeks and go, I feel incredibly grateful to, be at a massive trampoline park, not the parent sat, in the restaurant. And I know we had some amazing parents of amazing kids that were at the school. They were in the restaurant, but I could see them watching, and I could see that they probably wanted to be on those trampolines and playing Wipeout with us. It was such fun. Just go and have a go. I haven't been on a trampoline for years, and occasionally I'll go with the kids, but not to this type of massive event. I remember trampolining at school, which was some 30 years ago, and having trampolining classes, but not in a fun, this was all very strict education, learn how to do specific jumps. Anyway, I'm getting off the point. This is about community. This is about jiu-jitsu, but the community and the experience that you can have being part of it. I know nothing else about trampolining, but just finding that bravery to make that jump. Literally, there were a couple of brave moments today where I didn't know how to jump from one trampoline to another. But it's the same with jiu-jitsu. Pulling guard. Okay, I know some of you that are very good at pulling guard. Some of you that are great at takedowns as well. I salute you. I salute you, that the people that can do great takedowns. I'm still learning. But pulling guard, I remember when I started out doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that I was just so scared to pull guard. Grabbing lapel and the cuff, putting your foot up to their hip and falling backwards on your side. And I stuffed up the first time I ever did it. I fell on my back and it really, really hurt. But it didn't stop me. I continued to practice. It did take maybe another week or so to work out that it was going to be okay and I could fall properly. But having that bravery just to keep going, it reminded me of today. Stood on a platform. I had to jump down on a trampoline and then onto a massive airbed or an air pillow thing. And I was really scared. It was an angled trampoline, and I just wasn't sure I was going to make it. And then I did, and it was fine. It was fine. And I felt like, my childhood self had come back. That the kids, literally, you could see them. They were just enjoying themselves, running, jumping off the trampolines into the big air pillows. There was no fear. And as adults, we just learn. We've learned fear for the whole of our lives. And I think we embody that fear and we allow it to stop us doing certain things in life. There's nothing there to stop you apart from your mindset and your desire to have a go. So what I'm saying is, if you're an adult over the age of 18 listening to this podcast, and I know you're out there and I know you're listening, just go and have a go. If you haven't already set foot on a jiu-jitsu training mat, go and sign up. Book yourself a free session and go and have a go. Also, if you haven't been to a trampoline park, go and book yourself a session, at least 60 minutes, if not 90 minutes, and go and have a bounce and go and get wiped out, because it's amazing. This is the Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast with me, Lou Temlett, coming to you from the UK. When you're ready to pick up some Jiu-Jitsu Lou merch, head over to jiu-jitsulu.com/shop. And if you're looking for a discount code, sign up to my newsletter at the bottom of my website. Today, I'm having a roundup of my first year of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I've gone from the mum sitting on the sidelines, watching my children take part in activities, to being the one actually taking part in activities. And I've normalized what that feels like to me, because now I will just have a go. And I really would encourage you, if you haven't already, go and have a go at some of those new things in life that you might not have been inspired to do. Trampoline park, axe throwing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm sure there are lots of other things that I could name and have a go. Anyway, I did all right at axe throwing. I've got various target practice things in my past. And I used to play golf, actually. And one of the things about holding an axe and throwing it is about just being really relaxed. And I think that's the same with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's not a tension thing. To be successful and be able to pull all these moves, achieve the results, you have to be in a really relaxed state of mind. No tension, no forcing. Again, it's the same as dancing for me. It's having that flow, it's having that relaxed, being in that moment and just having that really positive mindset that makes such a difference in any sport or activity that you're taking part in. I just want to thank you all for listening, because it would be amiss of me not to mention Spotify Wrapped. So the Spotify Wrapped have wrapped up Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast for the last, when did we start? Middle of September-ish. So we've been going 3 months, and I do just want to thank you for listening, because it means the world to me. That sounds a cliche. I love producing podcasts. I love being part of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, and having these results, seeing those incremental changes. At the beginning of the show, I said that I've maintained a 10k weight loss for a whole year. The weight loss happened quite quickly. I can take things a lot further. But to know that you can maintain something and be consistent at something without any effort is just amazing. And obviously the long hair is now very short. And that's even more difficult to maintain, actually, because now I need to, keep up the look. Anyway, I want to say thank you. As of 3 months in and Spotify Wrapped for this year, we're currently streaming in 2 countries. And do you know what? I'm really grateful for that. Taking those small incremental steps 2 is better than nothing. And if I hadn't started 3 months ago, then it would certainly be nothing. So 2 is an incredibly good milestone. So maybe, I'm going to set a target for four countries streaming in this time next year. Let's see what I can do. Let's see what you can do. Let's see how far you can spread this. Apparently, obviously, I know this. My listeners have very good taste because you listen to that. There's so much data behind all of this. And obviously, Spotify know which podcasts you listen to. And, you may have had your top podcasts, your top music. But people that listen to this show, thank you, all of you. You like comedy, you like news, and you like education. So I'm going to be focusing and being a bit funnier. Okay, maybe not that funny. Send me some jokes, send me some stuff that I can share. And what do you want to know about, from an education perspective? This is where podcasters can really take the opportunity from this data now, the Spotify Wrapped, and start to be more focused and delivering content specifically for you. There's no reason why we wouldn't. This is about you as much as it is about me producing this content. And the top music genres, we've got pop, we've got rock, and we've got modern rock. Share me your best tracks. I know I've seen a few of yours on Instagram already, but if you haven't already shared your top tracks for 2023, send them over. DM on the Instagram. And I do know that most of you share the podcast with your friends, because that's how this show has grown from 0 to hero. And thank you all so much, because it's a 5-star rating on all of the podcast platforms. So I must be doing something right. And do you know what? It's like getting a stripe, having those incremental rewards that go from strength to strength. So thank you. And apparently, I'm a top 10 podcast for 19 of you. So thank you very much. A top 5 podcast for 16 of you. And I'm the number 1 podcast show for 3 of you. Now, because of GDPR, I don't know who you are. I don't want to know who you are, but I'm incredibly grateful to every single one of you for listening. It really does make my day, and it has made my year to get this far in my podcasting Jiu-Jitsu journey. So I've created 156 minutes of content, and the top country for listeners is the UK. So thank you all. It's been a great opportunity to start this show. I've got some guests, amazing guests coming up over the next few weeks. So continue to listen. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you for telling your friends about this show. I really do appreciate it. And to get notified of upcoming guests and special offers, head over to jujitsulu.com and subscribe. Thanks again for listening. Catch you on the next episode.